What's popping? Do this unedited. I got no replays because I'm a lazy little guy, and I did a bunch of games with some of these teams, and I know I have the replays. I'd have to go digging for them in people's DMs, and I'm tired, but I still wanted to put something out because I felt like rambling and talking about something I'm passionate about and I like, because that makes me happy. Let me turn up the music real quick too. I'm not even gonna edit this thing. So, I've been playing a lot of Ubers. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been playing that OU, but and this is a meme. Don't worry about that. But I've been playing a lot of Ubers because I ended up having way more fun in Ubers than I have in OU. Even though I really like OU, I'm not all about that OU right now. Ubers has been increasingly fun the more I play it, and I feel that opinion will change as I play better players. Anyways, so the three teams I've been mostly playing with, this one I've been barely touching because it was kind of funny at first because you could have Miraidon, Regieleki, and Kyogre on the same team, and I thought that was really funny that you could have like rain hyper offense with like just Mon Spam and Thunder. But then I realized shortly into the ladder that ground types and electric resists are everywhere in Ubers, so it's kind of like bad. Like rain is just not that good in Ubers, but it's still pretty funny and I liked it. So it basically boils down to a bunch of good Mons all on the same team. So we have my Miraidon. He's the Aki way. He always will be the Aki way, by the way. And this is an eject packed Miraidon I came up with because Draco and Overheat basically let you have U-turns, but I still put U-turn on anyways because Ubers is a tier where you can just constantly volt switch out or U-turn out and swap around kind of often in some games when you're playing against people who know what they're doing and don't get like low skill greedy, which causes them to win. We don't have to talk about that though. That they don't want you to know about this. Basically, we just have a Miraidon that beefs up the Kyogre and the Regieleki, and the Kyogre also beefs up the Regieleki because of that Thunder. And your win condition is basically whittling everything down, and getting their priority Mon out of the way, so you can just Terra Ice Regieleki sweep because you know that's fair and balanced. This team kind of gets fucked up by Basculegion with a Scarf spamming last respects, but that's why I put on, you know, I had to put that thing on. I had to put that Terra Normal Arceus because I really fucking think that people clicking last respects on a Scarf Basculegion are about as intelligent and skilled as people in Gen 5 using Volcarona. But we don't gotta talk about that. They don't want you to know. Personally, I think this team is literally just a hodgepodge of good Mons put onto a team in the tier. But it does have one of my favorite lander sets, Bandoheimer. And I literally named it Bandoheimer because it fools people into thinking it's a banded Mon. Looking at the team, it makes sense this would be banded. But it's not. It's my favorite Lando set of all time. Subdance, Smackdown, Earthquake. And once you get a Smackdown, like on their Garantina or something, there's basically nothing in the tier that likes an Earthquake coming from an SD Lando. You could also try doing bulk up. I just like the instant gratification in the faster tier that is Ubers. Faster than OU at least. And then Sneasler is I really didn't give a shit enough about this team to put like an actual good mom or a good pivot mon. So I didn't put a pivot on the team. Realistically, you'd probably want something like a defensive, which they do exist in the tier. A defensive Rayquaza. Or you'd want something like Skeledirge, because Skeledirge is really good in this tier. What the fuck is this song playing right now? Skipped. Skipped. Get the fuck out of here. Get that ass banned. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. So instead of putting like an actual good pivot mon, I just decided to double down on the fact that this was an HO team. Because people either leave when they lose like 2 or 3 bonds because it's Ubers, or I already won with like the Banderus, which is not actually Banderus. It's a sub dance. Water and electric resists are everywhere and commonplace in the tier. So you really just have to sequence your games to a point to where Regieleki is your win condition most of the time. And Miraida and Kyogre are just a really cool core. So that's cool, I guess. The team that I have been doing the best with, I'll say for last, it's this middle team here, Magearna Fishing. But this team has gotten me a few games. I like it. I've only lost 2 times so far in Ubers. One of them was with this team. The other loss was the other team. So, take that as you will. That's right, this other team that I'm going over after this has gone undefeated. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I'm gonna start with the Chi-Yu, because the Chi-Yu is very fucking goofy. The Chi-Yu, oh gosh, it's doing this shit. That's cringe, I think. Yeah. Okay, now it's normal. Awesome. So, this team's Chi-Yu is very unique. A lot of people will treat it as if we're actually Nasty Plot Eject Pack. When you have a Eject Pack. As you might imagine, I really like the Eject Pack item. My favorite Tusk set of all time is Eject Pack Tusk, followed up by Booster Energy Bulk Up Rapid Spin. That's also really funny. Okay, but enough about me. Let's talk about you. Chi-Yu Eject Pack allows yourself to switch into mons that are way faster than you, such as Miraidon, Kyogres when they're chipped. It lets you switch in on Groudons after they've already gotten a kill on you. I need to turn down the volume because I can't hear myself talk. And that's a problem. Sorry about that, folks. But it allows you to switch in on people that think you're going to outspeed them and revenge kill the fuck out of them with a Dark Pulse. But actually, you're overheat chipping them because they will probably go into a Dark Resist or a Mon that takes neutral to Dark that can survive and revenge kill you. And you just overheat switch and you go usually into your Cyclizar or your Eternatus, which has a Scarf. And you can goob on them from there. It's my favorite cheese pivot, and it is the funniest thing to do in Ubers, because everyone expects you to be a normal pilled good player that just puts a choice scarf on the Chi-Yu, because Scarf Chi-Yu is very good in this tier. Specs Chi-Yu is pretty cool, but hey, look, it's over. We're not No You anymore, and you're not playing VGC. So you're going to have to be normal and put a scarf on it if you want to outspeed those Koraidons and those Miraidons. And those Arceuses, Arceusai. You're going to have to be a good little fish and slap on that scarf. But, yeah, no. Being able to overheat and just go straight into a Cyclizar or Eternatus for this team and just start goobing, love it. Speaking of the Cyclizar is not scarfed. As you can see, the scarf is on our Eternatus. And I like to treat Eternatus as like a Gen 5 Latios, because I am modern-day Gen 5 OU pilled, as the kids like to call it on the playground. It is instead boots with U-turn, rapid spin, knockoff, and knockoff is very important in this tier. You have no idea. That's what separates good players from bad players, and this isn't even me doing a bit. If you don't realize how important knockoff is in a tier, where a Mon becomes a one-hit KO on your entire team because they have a Specs on, yeah, you bet your fucking ass that knockoff is important. Obviously, Shedtail's allowed in the tier, and we do have a Mon with bulk up flame charge, so you do the math. There's also a cosmic power, stored power, Ghost Arceus, so you can also do the math on that one too. What makes Cyclizar a lot more important to me than to a Mon like, what's his name? I'm for Orthworm, is because Garantina is way more scary to me than Groudon. Now, Groudon is an A or S minus tier Mon in this tier. Very fucking good at setting up spikes and or rocks, clicking precipice blades, and delivering serotonin to your brain. And for some reason, it has Thunder Wave. That's weird, but it can do that. But as you might notice, my Groudon has Crunch on it. That's because, to me, even though Groudon's a very good Mon, Garantina is fucking terrifying. It can phase you out, get rid of hazards, has priority, has E-Speed immunity, and can Draco your Mons for free, basically, in a lot of situations, and cause you to cry your asshole inside out. Garantina is very fucking scary. And on the team that I deemed better than this one, you bet your ass it has a Garantina. Cyclizar being able to just say, oh, are you choice locked for some reason and not left or not gratuitous orb? Because regular Garantina is also very scary. That's very funny. I'm going to Shedtail for free, and you can't chip me with Shadow Sneak. A lot of people go, oh, but Orthworm not only eats up that ground shit, but it doesn't take that much from priority. That's cool and all, but if you haven't noticed, that pretty much makes it impossible for you to get more than one Shedtail off if they have hazards up. And my Shedtail Mon has Rapid Spin for a reason. And you're not playing heavy duty boots on Orthworm, you're playing Citrus Berry. Also, it's still just as weak to Koraidon, but unlike Orthworm, Cyclizar will get the Shedtail off before the Koraidon has the ability to Drain Punch or CC you. That's why our Arceus is Spooky Plate, by the way, because it makes Koraidon literally free to Shedtail on. What the fuck? Why is this in the Thunder Blunder thing? This is not chill at all. Keevan's Waffles, I hate you. Die. Anyways, back to the program at hand here. Fairy Arceus is so much better than Ghost Arceus under multiple situations because you get Dragon immunity, so Miraidon can go fuck itself and so can Eternatus. But it makes you really, really weak, especially on this team, to Zacian with a sword in its mouth, ripping you apart. I don't want the Iron Head to be as free. And no, Chi-Yu is not a switch-in. Fuck no, it is not. So I went Spooky Plate because it dicks on Koraidon without me completely losing to a Behemoth Blade clicking monkey. Like I said before, the Eternatus is Scarf because I like to LARP as a Gen 5 Latios. But you might have noticed the Solar Beam on it. That's to completely dick on Groudons that like to come in on it and think they're going to click Precipice Blades for free. This tells them to basically go kill themselves. Obviously, Fire Blast is our coverage move instead of like Terra Blast, because we have the Koraidon and the Groudon. That's right, 2 Drought users. Sun is going to happen, and there's nothing you can really do about that. So you might as well just kill yourself now the Aki way. Anyways, That's my Sun Hyper Offensive team with Solar Beam Scarf Eternatus. Another thing you can try doing, which I find really funny, is using Ceruledge in this tier, because it gets to switch in on Koraidon for free, especially if it's trying to Flame Charge you. And the only thing they can really do is to Outrage you. And if you just have the mon that we're going to... have the mon that we're going to look at in the actual good team I have, or the best team, I should say, you can just pair that up with Magearna and ruin these people's days. But we'll talk about Magearna later. We need to talk about what this entire team's purpose is, which is fishing for Magearna. So this is a hyper offense, bulky offense, weird balance team that fishes for Magearna to come in and just click Calm Mind or Substitute, one of the two, but you will be clicking both eventually. And then win the entire game, or even if they knock it out, you still have the Regieleki in the back, as long as probably all the other mons in your team that you still have up, well, they lost probably 4 or 5 mons because they foolishly let you get in your Magearna for free. A lot of people think that Magearna is just specs, or it's like Scarf for some reason, or maybe it's AV Ironhead. I like to be traditional. You can call me a conservative in that way. The way I am stuck in Gen 7 OU and can't look forward into the future. My lawyer has advised me to tell you that's a joke. I'm actually an extremist centrist. Here's the Giratina I was hyping up earlier and calling the biggest threat to mankind. This thing is scary, and if you've ever watched a Lord Envy video, you would quickly realize that this motherfucker is your nightmare. This thing phases out and kills a lot of mons for free. The only thing that can realistically stop it, like the music just stopped for some reason. Okay, we're so back. Is a Silk Scarf Arceus, or Leftovers Arceus. And if you have that in front of you, the Magearna giving you that fluoride stare will fulfill all of your heart's desires. Draco Meteor also does become free, which is very nice. And then you can just swap into Miraidon and click Draco Meteor again. And then you can swap back into Giratina because it can't E-speed you. And then you click Draco Meteor again. And unless they kept mashing Shadow Claw, like, viscerally, you really don't have to worry about anything. If you're really, really afraid of Silk Scarf Arceus, which isn't as common as Fairy Arceus, or Ground Arceus, or Water Arceus, or Ghost Arceus, you can just play Dark Urshifu. But Dark Urshifu is really, really bad. And you should just play Light Maga instead. That's Surging Strikes, by the way. Anyways, Giratina Origin, very fucking scary. And it will usually chip things, or get a kill with Shadow Sneak, and then defog for free. Very good mon. Should be put up to S tier in my opinion. Not S+, if there is an S+. Maybe S-. It's up there in my opinion. The Akiway, of course, finds itself in yet another team. This one isn't eject packed because I needed a mon that could just come in and click a button and just kill something. If the enemy Koraidon isn't Scarf, this kills it for free. You click Draco Meteor, and because it's specs, Draco Meteor will kill even a max special defense Miraidon. This thing is absurd. If it is a Scarf Koraidon, or they win a speed tie of some kind, it's because they're an idiot, looked at the team in front of them, and thought Outrage was the move to click, which is the only move it has, by the way, that will one-hit KO you. This is what we call Magearna fishing, and it's won me half the games with this team alone, because I think people think Magearna isn't a setup mon, and they think they're just sacking the Koraidon for momentum. No, it's actually sub CM. So what happens every time is they will click Outrage on my Miraidon. It dies, because I lost the speed tie or they're scarfed. I send in Magearna, and in their mind, I'm going to click Fleur Cannon so they can sack the Koraidon and regain momentum and continue to click buttons on me. What actually happens is I click Substitute, and the Outrage does nothing. So the sub is completely free, and in the two turns, I get to have a free sub, because they switch out at this point. My leftovers recovery puts me back at around 90%. I'm also clicking Calm Mind when this happens. So now Stored Power kills the Koraidon if for some reason it stays in. It also kills the Surging Strikes Urshifu that thinks it could get Surging Strikes on me for free. Kill yourself. The Skeledirge that tries to come in, you're dying to the Stored Power, by the way. Even though Torch Song goes through sub, I'm clicking my Terra. Oh, is that Groundon? I'm clicking that same Terra anyways, dodging Precipice Blades. You can't Thunder Wave me because I'm sub, and I Fleur Cannoned you. No, just kidding. I Stored Powered you, actually. And this is a 2-hit KO, which I'm going to grab because I'm faster than you, and even if I'm not, I have sub up. You're losing a Mon. Now from here on, I can just keep clicking Calm Mind, Fleur Cannon, Stored Power to my heart's content as I'm constantly gaining back leftovers, putting me at full. Did I mention this bitch is big? So you're wasting so many resources to get rid of my Magearna? Have you noticed the Regieleki in the back? I'm Volt Switching or Thunder Caging you to death. It's actually so fucking over. Did you bring in your Regieleki? I have 8 speed EVs. No one fucking does that. I'm outspeeding you and killing you with Terra Blast. You're dead. What's that? You're bulking up? I have a Skeledirge, the 3rd most used Mon in the Ubers tier. I'm going to sit on his fat fucking ass. Baby, I'm your baby daddy's worst nightmare. Catch me by the Claire out there. I'll be right there. However that fucking song goes. He's doing it, not me, as he clicks Torch Song. I'm singing karaoke, doing my way, hopefully not getting shot in the Philippines. For those of you who have no idea what I'm saying, please look up on google.com My Way Philippines and click on the Wikipedia link at the very top. This team is awesome. The Groundon is literally exactly the same as the last one. That's because that's just the best Groundon set. Nothing else exists. If you're doing some like Fire Punch Sword Stance stuff, dog, just play Koraidon. Anyways, the Miraidon's called the Akiway because he looks like someone at a bodega in New York City made him. And yes, that is a joke about